Showers have popped up the neighborhoods most likely to see rain this evening and when they return tomorrow coming up. Throughout northern Kentucky and areas south of the 71-75 split. So if you're in Kenton County right now, you've got some of that rain coming down a little bit closer to areas just south of Florence for you. We've also got rain stretched along I-75. So if this is in your commute here this afternoon or evening, you'll run into some of that rain, at least for right now through, I would say, about another hour or so. It's been raining for a while for areas right around Independence and just to the south toward Verona and Crittenden, Walton and Dry Ridge for about an hour or so. And at times a little bit heavy. We've also got some thunder and lightning there as well along I-75 and then areas closer to the AA highway. Heavy rain starting to work its way up closer to Adams County, areas just across the river, and then Manchester also seeing some of that rain. Ripley, you're seeing that as well. Georgetown, some light rain for you as well. So throughout the rest of this evening, still holding on to that downpour threat, especially for areas along and south of the Ohio River. Once we get into tomorrow, it's going to start to become a little bit more scattered, but then from there on, I do think we have more rain on the way by the time we get to Friday, even possibly Saturday at this point, with a slow-moving cold front that's going to allow for showers and thunderstorms to set up, bringing the potential for some heavy rain to the area. I'll show you more on what we're expecting as we get into our couple weather impact days going into the upcoming weekend, as well as how the rest of tonight is looking coming up. Back to for some in Kentucky tonight, how much longer this is going to last and which other neighborhoods I think could end up seeing rainfall for your Wednesday plus the next couple of days, weather impact days. I'll show you when you're most likely to run into rain as we head into the weekend coming up. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5 and we'll be right back. County over to Brown County. Some showers starting to work their way into southeastern Indiana. We had some back out toward Ohio and Switzerland counties earlier today, right around lunchtime as well. And you still have some of that light rain moving through. So along I-75, that's where a lot of the rain is. It's much heavier south of Grant County for areas closer to kind of Cynthiana and then over toward Georgetown as well. But right now, if you're in Independence, you've got some light rainfall just right around you, and it looks like that rain's trying to start to stretch up a little bit closer to Cold Spring and Highland Heights. Still looking like things are staying dry that far north at this point, but I would not rule out, if you are I-70 or the 275 loop in south, I would not rule out the chance of seeing some rainfall here tonight. You can see that rain's finally starting to lighten up if you're over in Crittenden, so that's some good news for you. It's been raining for about an hour to an hour and a half for some of those neighborhoods down around Crittenden. We've also got some rain along the AA highway there, just to the east of Manchester, and then up toward Ripley over in Brown County. Also got some rain just outside of Georgetown. So it's been a little bit more north today compared to what we saw yesterday. A lot of this activity yesterday was pretty much I-64 into the south. Today, starting to work its way further north of the 64 area and closer to northern Kentucky. And as far as the rest of the night's concerned, if you're in green here, I think you've got the greatest chance of seeing some rain this evening. Now, I wouldn't cancel plans over this. I do still think it's going to be relatively spotty. But if you do get caught under one of those downpours, it'll be just that, a heavy downpour. Could bring in some lightning and some thunder for you, and slow moving too. So we could end up with some localized high water issues here, not just today, but that's actually something that I think ends up being a potential problem for us here tomorrow as well as Friday. We're going to have a really slow moving cold front Friday into Saturday that's going to trigger rain and thunderstorms throughout the day, most likely at this point early Friday morning. But for tomorrow, don't want to get ahead of myself, I still think some scattered rain and storms will be a possibility both in the morning and then throughout the afternoon, and then tomorrow night too. There will be that chance for some thunderstorms going into Friday morning. So for the rest of tonight, holding on to that potential for some rainfall. Again, if you are closer to I-70, you're not totally rain-free, but I think the odds of you seeing rain are much lower compared to if you are 275 loop into the south. Once we get to the overnight time frame, unlike last night, I do think there is a chance to see some rain redeveloping after midnight, some of which could stick around for that morning drive tomorrow. And then throughout the day, still holding on to the chance at least for some afternoon activity. And then tomorrow night, I do think there's another potential for some rain, which will continue into Friday morning. You can kind of see that hazy sky, but also starting to get a little bit dark with those thunderstorms off in the distance in Kentucky. Feels more like the upper 80s outside, even low 90s for some neighborhoods. And it's going to stay hot for the rest of the day today. If you're heading out to the Reds game tonight, I do think it's at least a good idea to have some rain gear with you. I don't think it's a guarantee we run into rain at the game, but it's still certainly a possibility, more so than last night's game was looking. For tomorrow, scattered rain and thunderstorms. Chance of rain and storms on Friday as well. In fact, it still looks like Friday is going to be the most likely up quite a bit compared to even just when we started this newscast at 4 o'clock. So over the last 30 minutes or so, much different look at the radar. We still have at least some light rain across Kentucky, areas especially along I-75 and to the south of the 71-75 split. In addition to that, we've also got some rain back along the AA highway closer to Adams County. You might be seeing some of this popping up if you live over toward Latonia Lakes or Independence or Taylor Mill. A lot of that not actually making it down to the ground. Some really dark skies for sure, but rainfall with this, not necessarily something that's happening as far north as Highland Heights or right around NKU. A little bit further to the south of Independence, you've got some rainfall there. I do think that's actually some light rain that's moving through. And then Crittenden, you're finally starting to see things lighten up a little bit more compared to those thunderstorms earlier today. In addition to that, we do have some heavier downpours right around Vanceburg areas in far southeastern Adams County. You're seeing that, and up toward Ripley finally starting to dry out, but we still have a little bit of rainfall out there closer to 125 in Brown County. So coming up in a few minutes, I'm going to show you today is just one of several that have the chance of rain. So when we're expecting to see more likely rain chances as we head into the upcoming weekend coming up here in a few minutes. Ashley, for some, but it is starting to quiet down for now. I do still think we'll have that chance for more redevelopment here this evening. Who's most likely to run into it tonight and for the next couple of days coming up? You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5, and we'll be right back. Out of town for you, but we still have some light rainfall in Kenton County, especially right around Independence, some light showers there, and then some light rainfall a little bit closer to Grant County too. This starting to wrap up though, so that is some good news, but I do think for the rest of the evening we'll hold on to at least the chance for a downpour, essentially 275 loop and to the south. A little bit further north today compared to what we saw yesterday with our setup of those pop-ups. Thunder and lightning will be a possibility within any of those thunderstorms. So if you're heading to the ballpark tonight for the game, I still think it's going to be mostly okay, but I can't rule out at least a chance for a downpour at some point throughout this evening, and that does include areas around the ballpark. So we'll be watching that here really closely. Temperatures are still staying very warm, about 84 for first pitch, and then down to the upper 70s after the game starts to wrap up. So pop-ups today along and south of the Ohio River still looks to be our best chance through the rest of this evening. I actually think overnight too we could see some rain starting to redevelop, and some of that continues into tomorrow morning. Still thinking that tomorrow afternoon provides at least the chance for some scattered rain, and then Friday itself looks to be the most likely day that's impacted by this wet weather. We'll see the chance for some thunderstorms on Friday, possibly in the morning, I think especially in the morning, and then into the afternoon and evening. There's still that potential. This is going to bring the threat for some downpours, possibly an isolated stronger wind gust, but I really think that downpour threat for the next several days is going to be something to watch closely, just because, a lot like what we've seen this afternoon, these are in no hurry to move at all. So you could have some locally heavy rainfall that could lead to some localized flooding concerns for some neighborhoods now through at least Friday. As far as the weekend is concerned, I still think there's at least a chance to see some rain at some point this weekend, mainly on Saturday, but how much is very much so in question. So for the rest of tonight, holding on to that chance for some rainfall. Here's that possibility of some overnight rain too. Again, after midnight tonight, I do think there's going to be some early morning rainfall. That's around possibly for that morning commute for some neighborhoods. Then tomorrow afternoon, we'll see the chance for some scattered rain to redevelop. Much like today, it's not really going to be in a hurry to move, so heavy downpours would be that primary concern, as well as, of course, that potential for some lightning. Any one of these storms produces that lightning threat, and if you are close enough to hear thunder, you are close enough to be in danger of that lightning. Here's some of those dark skies where that rain has been coming down for parts of Kentucky so far today. Upper 80s for the feels like temperature for some neighborhoods, and even low 90s up toward Hamilton, where there's really not been as much rain or anything like that over toward areas north of 275. So much warmer a little bit further north you are. 86 tomorrow for our high temperature, about 84 on Friday. For tomorrow, if you're heading out to the Reds game tomorrow night, plan on at least a chance for some rainfall for the game. Same goes for Friday as well. Now, as far as the next couple of days are concerned, more impactful rain here by the time we get to Friday. Once we get into the upcoming weekend, there's at least still a chance for some rainfall Saturday and Sunday. We've got strikeout hunger happening Friday night at the ballpark, Saturday too. So if you are heading out to the game against the Cubs, make sure to bring your 3 non-perishable food items, drop them off, and you can exchange them for a ticket to a future Reds game. And with that too,